Alright, what is up guys? Today I'm working on my 2004 Wildcat camper. This is a fifth wheel that I plan to tow with this 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 2500. So today I'm going to introduce this project to you. So again, it's a 2004. Picked it up in pretty rough shape, so this is definitely a DIY project, kind of renovation deal. Actually, plan to live in this thing in a couple months here after I buy a piece of property to hopefully build a shop on and get a good footing, and so this thing will just get me started. So you see we got a little bit of damage here. We got some busted lights, faded paint, stuff like that. A couple leaks here and there on the inside. A lot of that stuff's been fixed already on the inside, as I'll show you in just a few minutes. I've gone through quite a bit on this camper thus far. Had it a couple months, just working on it on the off season here in the winter months. So it's actually starting to rain pretty good here. As you can see, I've sealed up the backside. Somebody took out the rear windows, and the interior frame is missing. So I had to just temporarily screw them back in on the outside and caulk everything. It does have a ladder that goes up to the top. I have not really been up there, so I don't really know what the condition is on the top, but I don't really have that many leaks or anything. Just a couple repair panels here and there, and all the leaks seem to be already repaired on the exterior. So coming in on the inside, as you can see, I've already put some nice new floor down, maybe a quarter, somewhere between there. So I've just got some finish work to do. Most of the flooring is done, the hard work's done. Just gotta put some caulk around the cabinets, around the corners, and do some trim work with some quarter round or shoe mold. So I've gone through, we've done a lot of painting. Just got some trim to do, and like I was saying on the outside, this is the window frame that is missing here. You can see it's just exposed underneath there, and it's got little holes like right there and there all the way around that the window frame would screw into, like this on this small window frame. I'm not sure why the windows were taken out or whatnot, but it actually looks like somebody may have replaced this back wall or put a piece of plywood on top of it. Again, this is a big project, so it's just not something I'm super worried about. We'll just try to finish it out with some home or interior window trim, make it look a little bit nicer. And for the slide out, I've actually gone through and put some 6-inch wide boards around the outside. So some old boards that were sawn probably in the 80s. So I've actually just planed them down. You can see they got some worm marks on them, just some character. Thought it looked pretty cool, so I just ran my screws in with big heads. Just kind of that old farmhouse look is what I'm going for. So again, this is one of those patch panels. Right here we had a leak in the roof. The leak seems to have been patched already, just the interior was still a little soft. So that's been pulled out and replaced. Right across there I got to repaint across the ceiling, touch up with a brush. So you can see all the lights are hanging right now. I plan to replace those with lights that are just like this. So they are LED 12-volt lighting, run off the battery. This one's got a stud up behind it, so you can see there's a little bit of gap there. I got to drill it out some more, pull it back out, and replace that one. I actually busted the lens on it trying to get it in there, so we'll just go ahead and swap that out. Just some 12-volt lights that I found on eBay or Amazon One. Moving right along, we got the refrigerator right here. This is an RCA refrigerator for a house. The old propane refrigerator, somebody tried to paint with Rust-Oleum on the inside, so it never really dried too well, and it was just really smelly, and didn't really want to risk putting food in there or anything like that. And I didn't really try to see if it worked or anything, because it was just kind of a mess with that paint job on the inside, and the seals were sticking, so the doors were not opening and closing correctly. So it's got some good insulation on the inside here. Up in here we've got a vent. Looks like there's a wasp nest up there. Just some stuff to clean out before this thing goes in here. It's actually a really close fit. It's actually a little bit bigger, so you can see this little tick right here. I've marked it to cut it because this refrigerator is 55 inches tall. I just didn't want anything too small that would leave a gap or something up high. So we're going to fill up this whole entire hole with a nice 7.5 cubic foot RCA refrigerator. Pretty nice. It was actually damaged on the back, and I'll show you that. So I got a little bit of a discount on it. at the local Home Depot in Dawsonville, Georgia. I think somebody dinged it with a forklift or something. I don't think this was Home Depot's fault because it was shipped in directly to them, and then I just picked it up as soon as it arrived. So they don't usually carry this product on the shelf. Alright, so this is where your old entertainment system would be. In 2004, you'd put a big box, deep, I guess you call them a tube TV in there. And the radio does work. I just don't have power hooked up right now. And the other major project, probably the first thing we did, was strip out all the cabinets and drawer faces, all that stuff, and paint all the cabinets white. So I actually did try to spray that with an automotive spray gun for painting vehicles, and so I painted with Keels first to prime everything, and then a white. So it's probably not the best idea. If I were to do it again, I would probably just stick with a brush or a roller and just make sure to lay on the paint pretty thick. You can see I got some light spots that I just couldn't quite reach. That blue insert right there we had to take out and reinstall. So anything that's light or something, I'll probably just go back and touch up with a brush. The spray gun, again, just a lot of taping stuff off, and it wasn't really worth it, especially in the cold. I had a lot of problems with the cold weather, about 55, 60 degrees out here. I thought it would be okay, but it was just a little bit too cool, and the paint wasn't laying down like I thought it should. So we'll go back here into the, I guess you could say, the master bedroom. It's pretty roomy, no slide outs or anything. Again, this is one of those windows, that window trim that was missing in the rear. But up here we're doing alright. We got the floor in, around the bed. It's kind of a mess in here. Been working so much. We got flooring all the way around and the horizontal surfaces. And those vertical surfaces there, I plan to wrap with the same wood that I've used in the slide out, around the slide out, so we'll have a common theme there. This wall right here is actually where you would mount a TV, so you'd have the bed here, and then look to this wall and have a TV mounted on there. I've actually filled in those holes, or some of them, because I don't plan to put a TV back right there. This is where you'd hook up your TV and also the power outlet. We got covers for that stuff. We've got some holes in the walls from curtain rods and things like that that are going to go back in. And we got a couple more lights that I got to replace with the 12-volt units. As well under here and there. And this is what I plan to heat the place with. It's usually heated with a propane furnace, and I think all of that stuff works. I just don't want to have to deal with the propane, and I'd rather be hooked up to electric supply and just run electric heaters. So we got one heater. This is a Harbor Freight heater. I think it's like $25, $22, something like that. Of course, got a coupon with that. But these heaters over here did come from the Home Depot website. Had them shipped directly to my house. I think they were about $44 a piece. I've got one there, and also another that I plan to keep in the main living space. And we'll just see how that goes from there. So 3 heaters, 1 smaller and 2 larger ones. The bathroom is probably the next big undertaking in this place. We've got a shower that's rather yellow, so I plan to scuff it up and paint it. They actually make a shower paint to paint the walls and tub basin, and that's probably going to take quite a bit because I'll disassemble the shower head and the drain and stuff like that. Try to do a really nice job, get some of these stickers and decals off, get this nasty curtain rod out of here. The cabinets in here we did go ahead and paint and spray, and didn't worry about getting it on the walls because the walls are going to be painted anyway. Got a light up here that's got to be replaced. Again, this shower just needs to be painted and recaulked, make it look a little bit nicer. I'm not too concerned about maybe replacing the whole shower or whatnot. That was originally the plan, but then we realized that we'd rather just save that money and spend it on the shop once we buy a piece of property, and just deal with this, because it's not horrible. It's just something that's got to be cleaned up and painted to make it a little bit more livable for the time being. You know, I didn't do the floor in here just yet because I'm thinking about doing maybe a tile. On a recent home renovation that I worked on, we actually laid down a vinyl tile that looks very similar to a marble. And I think that turned out really good, so I'm going to try to join that up to my existing hardwood that I just laid down. Right there, that seam, and put maybe a doorway, little strip of wood right there to cover that seam. The door's been painted. Probably need to go back and touch up, maybe do one more brush coat on that and make it look a little better. So yep, that's pretty much it. That's where I'm at right now. Slide had a big rotted spot over here in the corner underneath this chair that's been replaced. Can't really see it now. So I think it's 3/4 inch plywood all the way across there underneath this 1/4 inch. So I put 1/4 inch all the way across to kind of cover the lip, because there's a big plastic seam that goes across there where the slide rides on when it comes in and out. And so I tried to have something to support this vinyl wood, because if you just put the vinyl down and you accidentally step on it or something, it will definitely crack this stuff. It's kind of brittle. It is flexible to some degree, but after a certain point it would just crack and kind of crumble right off. So I did put the 1/4 inch plywood all the way across, 2 4x8 sheets. So I have a seam right there that joins them, and it goes all the way across. Yep, again, this is just a little bit of a mess, but I wanted to give you an update and show you what I'm doing. This is definitely something that pretty much anybody could accomplish. Again, this camper was pretty cheap on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Can't remember which. We looked at quite a few. Yeah, I would definitely consider doing this if maybe you're fresh out of college or looking for a place to stay and don't want to pay rent. This is definitely a valid option. If you can find a small piece of property, an acre or even less, you can definitely put a camper on that and renovate it and make it something really nice. Especially if you like the outdoors and you don't plan to spend a whole lot of time in the thing, but would like a nice place to stay when you are in it. All these vents up here we did paint. It looks like I did miss across there. I did take them down, but again, the weather was kind of messing with me and it was not very warm. Dinette, we'll probably just leave as is. May paint the wood section white like we had the cabinets. Again, I had to take all that stuff out to put the floor down. You can see I just put floor all the way across and then put the dinette back in. So I'll probably paint the tabletop and the counters the same color. I think they make a acrylic or a enamel that goes down on these countertops. It's a pretty hard surface. I think it's made by Rust-Oleum, so I'm going to give that a shot. I've never used it before. Maybe let me know in the comments if you ever used that before. Give me a shout out. It's the Rust-Oleum. I think it comes in a quart, and you can have it tinted to whatever color you'd like. Maybe even suggestions of what color. So we've got like a really light blue. It's kind of hard to see. It's not all white. So this is a blue color or a gray, and this is white. Should be able to see that. A little bit of a color contrast there. That big square up here is blue, and we've got white trim going up. Cabinets are white. Maybe a little bit easier to see in person. Yeah, I've got some trimming to do. Paint trim. All in here. We thought about buying one of those mini washer dryer combos to go in here. I think they actually make them to size so that they will fit right in there. But actually we decided just to use that for storage, or maybe put some drawers or shelf or something in there, just because it's a little bit too small. I'd like to have a full-size washer dryer, and I can go ahead and purchase that and then have it for when I finish my shop and just stick the washer dryer right in there and not have to do a double purchase once I get ready for a bigger washer dryer. So the washer dryer I went with is a combo. I think it's by GE, and I got it from Home Depot again. It's a apartment combo, so you get the washer on the bottom and the dryer on the top, and it's all made into one unit. I think it's a 220 unit. So I'll have to wire in a plug on the back side of this camper, maybe right underneath these windows, and also drill a hole that goes through this wall and out the back to vent the washer dryer vent. I have to run a water supply also over here, so I think the fresh water tank is actually directly underneath this floor right here, so it'll pretty easy. Got the pump controls and all of that, but once we're hooked up to maybe a city water supply, you wouldn't even really have to run the pump. It would just be a direct line to the washer dryer. Yep, got a lot of tools piled up on this thing. So sink's in okay condition. It's just one of those things we're probably just going to leave for the time being. May or may not swap it out. I actually have a sink head that was left over from a previous job we finished up this fall. Maybe just put the sink faucet or right there, replace it with stainless steel, and leave the sink white. May paint the sink that small vanity sink back there and the shower white all at one time. So, yep, this is a pretty big project. Something I'm working on just out of school here. I graduated this past May from UNG as a business management major with a focus in entrepreneurship. So I'm actually starting my own business, landscaping and home maintenance. It's actually called Professional Maintenance and Landscapes. You can find us on Facebook, focused here in Cumming, Georgia. So this is what I've got going, trying to get started on my own without any huge loans or anything like that, especially for property and a house. It's pretty easy, especially in this area, to get a $200,000 loan or more. And I'm trying to just do this as I go. So I try to pay cash for everything and minimize my loans. Alright, I think that'll pretty much wrap it up for this video. Give me a comment, like, subscribe, stuff like that. Hit me up. Let me know if you have any questions or things that I should definitely consider while I'm working on this thing. AC, it's been in the winter, so I'm not sure if it's blowing cold or not. So there's some things like that that are still kind of up in the air that I'll definitely have to deal with come this summer if there is an issue. So that'll be it. Just give me a like, subscribe. Let me know what you think.